Got it. Okay.
Oh, that church was great. So you can be on TV. This will be on PBS tonight.
Good morning, everybody. First thing we're gonna do this morning, we're gonna do the Columbia County Capital Resource Corporation. Call meeting to order.
I think I got it.
8:30. First thing I want to do is
There you go. We just need to speak up a little higher because now the microphone's further away.
all right, what we're gonna need first thing is we got the draft minutes for the March 14th meeting. We're gonna need a motion. A second.
So move.
Yeah, that one. Yep. So move second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Next, we have resolution on virtual meeting authorization resolution. And Andy's going to explain it.
So what we want to do after I give you the intro is we want to just open up a public hearing. There probably won't be any comment, but you have to give everybody an opportunity.
Yes.
Vote on
Yep.
the resolution. The purpose for the resolution is part of recently the 2022 budget. It included the opportunity for public bodies to have Zoom virtual meetings, but it's much stricter than what was previously accessible during COVID. Specifically, you as the board members need to be present. You can't dial in unless you have an extraordinary circumstance, be it, a health issue, disability, illness, other, significant events. So kind of the standard baseline is you as members need to be here, but if you're here, you can conduct business virtually for people from the outside to view it. And then the same kind of rules that we had before would apply. You need to keep a record, record the meeting. So that's really what it is. And I think, what we're doing is we're passing these just so that we have them in place should an incident come up, or should there be changes in the future, endemic related where we can kind of pivot. So that's the reason. So Mr. Chairman, if the group was agreeable to it, you could take a motion in a second to open up the public hearing.
we're gonna do is we need a motion in a second. Public hearing. I'll make a motion. Second. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
All in favor? Okay. Is there any questions? Council. There's no question. We're gonna need a roll call vote.
Ian Baker? Yes. Bob Lucia?
Yes.
Gerlach?
Yes.
Brian Keeler?
Yes.
Carmen Hero?
Yes.
Rick Rector?
Yes.
Sarah Sterling?
Yes.
Passed.
Okay, so now we're going to need a resolution, a second to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So, next, treasurer's report. Mike.
Thank you very much. As you'll see, we are down to $419. And CEDC has budgeted $5,000 as a grant to restore the funding. I see we have audit expenses. Have we paid those, Kat, yet? No. So what we'll do is we will transfer $3,000 from CEDC to, as part of our approved budget of the 5,000, so we can cover the audit expense. I think we go through this every year, that it's about $5,000 between the audit and the insurance. And when the insurance bill comes in, we'll transfer the remainder of those funds. Without any activity, we don't have any legal expense here. But the question has always been, do we continue to sustain this organization or this entity? If we closed it down, we'd never get it back. And it is we have done some deals for the hospital where we issued bonds, and it could assist not-for-profits. And we did undertake a campaign to make people aware of the program at the 50 not-for-profits that had more than $1 million in revenue. As if they were going to do an expansion, they could access this, the benefits that CRC provides. I recommend that we continue, and we budgeted for it at CDC, to continue it for another year. And I think the fee that we would get on a single project, if we did one going forward, would more than cover those costs, although the CEDC funding is a grant, not a loan, so there's no obligation to repay us. But at that point, we might charge you for our service. Point. Any questions?
Motion second. Support.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Mike, Administrative Director's report, which I pretty much just did. Okay. Any public comments? No public comment. Motion in a second to close the CRC.
Motion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Moving on. We have the Columbia County IDA. What we're going to do first is we're going to open a public hearing again on the virtual meeting authorization resolution. I need a motion and second on the public hearing. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
It's the same resolution we just did for CRC. Anybody, any questions? None? Okay, we need a roll call vote.
Ian Baker? Yes.
Yes.
Rector?
Yes.
William Gerlach?
Yes.
Sarah Sterling?
Yes.
Brian Keeler?
Yes.
Passed.
I guess we just need a motion and a second to close. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving right along, we have the draft minutes for March 14, 2022. Give me a motion and a second.
I move to accept the minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Mike, treasurer's report.
So we have good news. We did close on the sale of lot 8 at the Commerce Park Center. As you know, we had back in October, we had the first prospect interested in purchasing it. That fell through because they that was for a Frito-Lay distribution center, which went to Dutchess County on I-84. We had a second developed business looking to purchase the site. They determined that the wetlands on the site made it difficult for them to build what they wanted to build. So we had a third offer, and we closed on that at $90,000 for 3 acres. We just recently were asked to purchase property by Columbia County, which is 6 acres, but through CEDC. And we have an appraisal for that that came out. If we divide that by 2, the same range as what we sold the property for. And we did have an appraisal for $90,000 for the property that has the wetlands. But that's the good news. So you see that now we have $126,000 in the bank. That $90,000 net of closing costs is going to be held for the county's directed use. It was a piece of county land that we sold on their behalf, and we believe they're going to use it for the purpose of repurchasing the land that they've asked us to purchase if they decide to use it. The land that the CEDC is going to purchase is on Route 9H. It's next to the sign company, and it adjoins the Commerce Park. The county is considering constructing a facility there that would be the Meals on Wheels kitchen for the county. But the Board of Supervisors wanted to step back and take a look at all of their real property and facility needs before they went ahead and built something on that site. The seller was getting other offers to sell, and while he had committed to sell it to the county, he was ready to take another offer if the county wasn't willing to move forward. The CDC board voted to acquire that property and to hold it for some period of time until the county made a decision. And if they were not interested in it, based on the fact that we got the appraisal, we'd be able to sell it at a small profit. So that $90,000 in your account that was generated by selling county land will go back to the county and will probably end up at CEDC if the county buys the land. So just we're going to have to hold it, in a restricted account. Obviously that will bring down our balance to $36,000, or no, I'm sorry, 133, minus 90, 43,000, and some of that is restricted because of the fact that the HRVH land, that's a note, but that last payment is due currently. And I believe we billed for it. If not, we did bill for it, and we expect them to pay that off. So that will go to cash. And we do hold escrow accounts, so that washes itself out to 21,000. We did get a request, which is on the agenda further down, from 2990 Route 9 Realty, which is the Apple Ice facility next to the Hudson Valley Creamery on Route 9 in Livingston. They want to refinance, and they have, I believe, 1 year left on their pilot. And then the title would go back to the company anyway. So, but because the pilot is still in effect, the title to the property is still in the name of the IDA, and therefore they need our approval. And Andy will explain that shortly. But once that happens, the 21,000, once the pilot ends and the property is transferred back to the company, the $21,617 in escrow will be released. So I mean, it'll clean up the balance sheet, but again, it's a wash at this point. We expect to have a closing in the next 30 days on the financial end of the Clock Estates project, which will generate the balance of that fee. It was a $70,000 fee, and I can't remember exactly how much they paid when they got the sales tax exemption, but I don't think it was more than half. So I think it was a third. So we will be back in the money. We're still working on the possible project in Greenport, the affordable housing project. They're kind of taking a seat back till they see how discussions with the planning board go and how they go with the assessor. But also they're trying to get their hands around what construction costs are going to be so they can get the right financing in place to move forward. We continue to have a lot of inquiries and activity. CEDC did enter into an agreement with the Columbia County Chamber, and then we jointly entered into or about to sign an agreement with the county. The county is going to allocate $500,000 in ARPA money, part of the $8 million that the county received from the federal government to help come out of COVID, to this initiative called Columbia Forward. It's a second edition, if you will, of the project that the Chamber and CDC worked on previously during the height of the pandemic, called Columbia Comeback. And the program is designed to enable both CEDC and the Chamber to hire an additional staff person who will be dedicated to taking us on the road. I think I perhaps had mentioned at our last meeting that I went to a Rojan Housing Task Force meeting with representatives of Copake, Ankrum, and Hillsdale, and there were 8, 10 community leaders, business owners around the table, and I don't think half of them knew what Chamber or CEDC were. And it just struck me that if we're going to be effective, we need to raise our awareness more. And I think the thought is that CEDC will work with the town economic development committees to actually do a strategic plan for each of them. And then we'll partner with the Chamber. We'll be more focused on the individual businesses. And obviously, as part of the effort, it's hoped that the individual businesses will become members of the Chamber, and the larger businesses may consider CEDC. So I think, I know Bill and I think it's a great program. It's a iteration of a application we submitted with Patterns for Progress at CDC to the USDA, which was not accepted. We were asking for too much money. But basically, it's to go out and help the towns who have economic development committees from our side of the equation do a strategic plan, so that they have a little bit more structure, and then work directly with businesses. Bill?
I just want to, confirm what Mike says. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for the Chamber. When I came on board last May, I said to the staff at that time, I said, we got to get back to the grassroots of this organization and get out to the Copakes, the Hillsdales, the Germantowns, New Lebanon if possible. And then several months later, he says, look, this is what the county is going to do. I'd like to have a strategic partner in doing this, and I couldn't think of anybody better than the Chamber. So we welcome the opportunity. I agree with what Mike is saying. We do our events. We're in the newspapers. We're in the Albany newspaper now. The Times Union is doing a great job covering us. We're on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, and there's still people that don't know what we do. And it seems like every event that I attend, we get talking about capital and workforce and things of that. And always CEDC comes up in this great SBA program that they offer. So we're looking forward to it. And film at 11, as the news business says, but we're very excited about it and looking forward to it. Thanks, Mike.
So what we're gonna do with the $500,000 is they're gonna give us $150,000 a year for 3 years. It's renewable, so we have to be able to have metrics and demonstrate our effectiveness to get the second and third year. But they've also included $50,000 to assist CEDC to advance our loan program. We currently are up to $3.2 million portfolio, and about $1.4 million is available to lend. And anyone who comes in for a loan in the next beginning now, the first $500,000 that we lend up, you'll be eligible for a 10% grant on top of what you borrow up to $25,000. So if you borrow $25,000, when at the closing you'll get $2,750, but you'll only owe $25,000. If you borrow $15,000, you'll get a $1,500. It's like a car sale, right? And come on in, and you'll get a rebate, cash rebate. We think it'll be interest rates at 3.75% until we run out of the 500,000. And because we're capped at $25,000 per loan under this program, we can still do loans that are larger with other CEDC money. But if you look at the maximum, we can do 20 loans, but we don't think everyone will be coming in for the $25,000 loan. When we did the $15,000 rapid recovery loans during the pandemic, I think we did that year we did $650,000 of new loans. So we think that that's an added incentive, but that'll be part of the program when we kick it off in July and market. I know Bill has already identified a designated staff person. We'll have someone that we can announce on Monday, a week from yesterday, that we've hired, but she won't be starting until Monday. So I think that these activities, while not directly related to the IDA, I think raise the awareness and consciousness of the tools in our toolkit, and the IDA is certainly one of the stronger tools that we have.
Okay.
No, I think I guess I'm doing the administrative report at the same time.
Yes.
Okay, let's approve the treasury report, and then I'll just finish up here.
All right, any questions on the treasurer's report? If not, I need a motion in a second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. So moved. Now we move on to the administrative director.
I talked about the lot sale at the Commerce Center and the use of proceeds, and on the Hudson River Real Estate LLC. That's Paul Harpus and Matt Vasilich. They purchased this property about 3.5 years ago, and they had in the documents that they would. And I don't recall, they paid $30,000 for it. So the way the deal worked was it was valued at $60,000. At closing, when you purchased it, you paid $30,000. And then there was a $30,000 penalty note that if you didn't build a building on the site within 2 years, you had to pay that or we could foreclose. We've given them 2 extensions because of COVID. Paul has a similar lot that he bought in his own name at CEDC, through CEDC. And each time we gave them the extension on both the IDA and CEDC, we added $1,500 to the penalty note. So now the penalty note here is up to $33,000. Obviously, they have already, with one payment left, if they make this payment coming up, they'll have 30,000 plus interest in it. If a 3-acre parcel is worth 90,000, they'll have more than enough to pay us, and at the same time, walk away with some money in their pocket. That's not how I would have structured these deals originally. I would have $30,000. If we don't build in 2 years, give us back the property and we can resell it. I don't think there's any real risk in giving them one more extension. I think at the CEDC meeting, Mayor Rector recommended that not we give them the full year, but we give them 9 months. And we add $2,500 to the penalty mortgage. So, now if they sell it, if they flip it, they've got 30 in it plus interest, so say 35. The second note will be 45. And so, they may make $10,000 or $15,000 if they flip it, and we'll know in a year, or we'll know in 9 months. I think, we're here to serve businesses, not to penalize them. I think that, they have operated in reasonable good faith considering the issues of COVID. They were planning to build there and steel costs jumped up. And I think that, we're not, it is the last, these are the last 2 available sites in the Commerce Park. And they are planning to move forward with the project, the site that CPC owns. So, Mr. Chairman, I would recommend that, consistent with what CDC did with respect to giving a 1-year extent or a 9-month extension, not a 1 year, with an additional $2,500 penalty added to the penalty mortgage, that you approve their request.
One quick question. At the end of 9 months, they don't do anything again.
We foreclose on it,
That's gonna be, okay.
or they give us the deed in lieu.
Well, I guess express my question is, if they sell the parcel, then what control do we have on it?
If they sell the parcel, we get paid the penalty mortgage, which will be up to about $40,000.
But then we don't have any control if somebody else wants to just start writing.
No, well, I think that perhaps we could include something that, but it's gonna be hard to.
Yeah, no, I think if they decided to sell it on the market, we could just get a. That was the deal with stuff.
And we'll coach them, we'll help them, we'll try to get someone there. I mean, we had, once we put the property under contract the 3rd time, 2 people called and wanted to buy it, but it's already under contract. There's, I think what makes that property valuable is that there's water, sewer, gas, electric, and broadband all at the same location. And it's new sewer, so, it's not, that brings up the bigger question, both for the IDA and CEDC and the county. There's going to be federal money and coming down through the state and through the Regional Economic Development Council for municipal or not-for-profit economic development organizations supported by municipalities to do a study to determine whether they want to acquire additional land for a facility like the Commerce Center. And then if you're moving forward fast enough, money to actually put infrastructure in. Again, right now, with land costs shooting up, especially at that corner, we did have a gentleman come in from Massachusetts. He bought 30 acres between, is it Alvarez who has sell right on 66 and 9H on 66 where they sell peat moss and Olmsted. Between Olmsted and a car dealership, this guy bought 30 acres for $450,000 and doesn't know what he wants to do with it. He came in and said, "What do you think I should do there?" And he started talking about franchised restaurants and big box. I said, "No, that's not going to
That's
work."
between there and Gay Bauer Road.
Yes,
That goes-
it's on Gay Bauer Road. It's on that corner. Well, it's part of it. It's right, on the west side of Gay Bauer Road. 450, 495, I think, under 500. But again, you have to be accepted into the sewer district to be a non-district user. A lot of infrastructure to put in there. So I do think with the last two parcels in the Commerce Park moving forward, we should at least be looking at that. But I don't know that I don't know that there's $1 million available through this grant program to purchase and build the roads and infrastructure.
So,
So Clock Estates,
we got two resolutions.
oh yeah, resolution to
So we're gonna need a resolution to,
extend.
to extend for Hudson River Real Estate. A 9-month extension, $2,500 penalty fee. Saying that right, Andy?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll need a motion, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Park Estates,
We had, Andy, I guess you have the most recent update on that.
Yeah, they're just getting ready to close with farm credit. Extension of the sales tax exemption. That letter went out. And I'm not sure what the vote needs to be today. but
Two things. One, postpone the closing, and I guess when they close, they would need to authorize any and all documents. They authorize the chairman to sign any and all documents to facilitate the.
Yeah, and they're trying to close.
And yeah, I think it's a great project. We did have, we're having when's the public hearing on the tax agreement, pilot agreement today? No, we had the public hearing. We sent out the letters to the municipalities notifying them that they wanted a deviation. And the deviation was simply getting a fixed annual payment rather than one that changed each year based on the assessment. And those letters expired today, so they could close tomorrow. That was the, so, I think they're done, except if you need a resolution to authorize the chair to sign the remaining documents, because you approved the transaction several months ago. Chairman of the.
Yes.
So.
Can I make a motion or is that?
Yeah, you need a motion.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna sign documents.
Probably get somebody.
I'll make a motion.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
We don't have any further update on the 178 Bailey project. It's still in progress. And then we have two requests for approval to refinance as I mentioned, 2990 Route 9, as well as 41 Cross Street Hospitality, which is the Wick Hotel. And Andy can update us on both of
Yeah,
those.
so in your packet are two resolutions. They are in the process of refinancing, so what the resolutions do is they just allow. Week or so, all the rights and obligations that we currently have.
All right. Any questions? I need a motion in a second.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any of the board members have any questions?
Just a quick statement as far as the harvest thing, Mr. Becker said I went for 9 months. it was suggested they go to 6 months. And I said, and I opened the vet and the group said, well, let's do 9. So I'll take full responsibility for that.
Well, you certainly opened up the discussion, knocking down to 12. Which was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Keep the pressure on.
Any public comment?
Did we do both of those? Yeah. Oh, wait, and- The unfortunate part is in both of those, there's no new money, so we can't collect the fee. Well, it's done.
And any public comments? If not, we need a motion and a second, close the meeting. Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.